Well, good afternoon. Thanks for coming. Lunch is a formidable force to deal with. Did you have a good lunch? I'm preaching through tamales, straight through the tamales I had. I don't know what I'm preaching into, but this is not nap time. So I'll be watching, all right? I don't know who made the tamales that I had, but man, oh man, those were some good tamales. And the salsa was incredible. I'm full of tamales and salsa right now. Just want you to know that. But speaking of salsa, would you mind if I tell you a story about salsa? Do you like salsa stories? You probably don't even know a single salsa story. I'm going to tell you a salsa story. So years ago, my wife, Sue, had gone to all the trouble to make this amazing Mexican dinner. And I, from a distance, I was watching these tacos come into shape. It was just, I was just so eager. I love eating. It's one of my favorite things to do. And just before these tacos were about to be served, she realized there was a key ingredient missing. There was no salsa in the house. This is a problem. This is a big problem. So she says to me, Ty, we don't have any salsa. Could you go to the grocery store and get some salsa? And with a little bit of an attitude, she said, and make it fast. Now, there's a context to this attitude because her and I have different shopping techniques. My wife shops like a man, like a pinball in a pinball machine. She has a short list in her head. She goes in and she bounces around to just get the items that she already knows she wants. This is boring. I, on the other hand, I have a method that I believe is superior to her method. Every time I walk in the grocery store, I go all the way to the right. And I go up and down every aisle twice. And this is why I'm the only person in our home that ever discovers any new yummy stuff. She buys the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm making discoveries. So she says, fast, Ty, please, fast. I'm ready. Could you just go get salsa? Don't go up and down every aisle is what's between the lines there. In fact, she won't allow me to go to the grocery store with her. If I see her trying to sneak out of the house, and I think, this may be a grocery store run, I'll say, can I go, please? And she'll say, please, no. And if you're going to go shopping with me, bring your own car and get your own cart. And that's not shopping together. So on this occasion, I was determined to prove that I could shop like a man. So I went to the store. I went immediately to the salsa aisle. I know where it's at. Resisting the temptation to go all the way to the right. But I am confronted with a problem. There is a woman very studiously standing in front of all the salsa, examining the options. I'm in a hurry, but I'm also polite. So I come up behind her, allowing appropriate space, just examining over her shoulders, waiting my turn. And as I'm waiting for my opportunity to reach in and grab some salsa and get out of the store and get home and have some tacos, as I'm looking over her shoulder, something completely unexpected and kind of flattering takes place. This woman reaches back her hand, tenderly clasps mine in hers. And there's something you need to know about me. When somebody's holding my hand and I'm nervous, I clasp a little tighter for some reason. I don't know what that is. So as we're standing there in the salsa aisle holding hands, and she's looking forward, examining the options, she says to me in, I might add, a rather romantic tone. She says, medium or hot, sweetie pie? Now, I'm in a quandary at this point, because on the one hand, I know this is a case of mistaken identity. I know I am not sweetie pie. On the other hand, I have very, very specific opinions about salsa. And she did ask. So as I'm trying to decide what to do, getting more and more nervous as the seconds tick by, and all of this happened just in a matter of seconds. You have to see it in slow motion because that's how it happened. Just as she says, medium or hot, sweetie pie, she, in slow motion, is turning toward me, and I see in her profile a pucker developing. So I begin to grip a little tighter and lean back toward the spaghetti sauce. And as I lean back, I say, actually, ma'am, I prefer mild salsa. And as I'm explaining the necessity of the salsa being mild, so that you can taste the subtle fusion of the cilantro and the tomatoes and the lime juice and mild, everybody. You got to taste the flavors. Just as I'm explaining, our eyes lock. Her pucker sucks in. She realizes I'm not sweetie pie. She screams and runs out of the aisle. So I grabbed some salsa and got out of that place, hoping that sweetie pie wasn't 6'6" of solid tattoo-covered muscles. That's what I was hoping. Now looking in the store for this twerp that was holding his girl's hand in the salsa aisle. So I go home, I deliver the salsa, and I realize that as I'm enjoying these tacos, she's back there at the grocery store searching for her true love. And that's why I told you the story. Welcome to part 3 of Unbelievable.